Hello, and welcome to... welcome to the Jeff Finch Experiment. Nick is with us today. Nick Lewis, as any fan of my show knows, he likes to interrupt me during the intro, and he's cracking up over... Chuck Teapole's here. He was in the last podcast, and he stuck around, and we're going to do another one. Sup.
God bless. How you doing, man?
Doing okay. We're having a good time. We had a lot of fun recording our last podcast. It was very, very music heavy. And although Nick talked, Chuck and I really kind of took over the podcast.
Well, you get
dominated.
You get three musicians in a room. What are you going to talk about, huh?
Yeah.
Seriously.
When you get two musicians and Nick in a room, what are you going to talk about?
No, two musicians and a retired musician like me.
That's pretty much man.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at you, Nick, and like you have
not much to be impressed by.
Not much, no. I mean, your knowledge of World War II airplanes is impressive, but other than World War I, excuse me. Yeah.
I know how to school a Canadian.
Well, you know that the Red Baron was in World War II, right, guys?
Yeah, when I listened to that, man,
that was a joke.
Joke. Don't get all upset. Don't start war with us.
I listened to that podcast, man. That was really interesting, Nick. Your knowledge on history is amazing, and it was very, very captivating.
Well, that's a trade-off you have whenever you're really good in one area, but you're weak in another. I could tell you, the number of windows that's in that was in the RMS Titanic.
But you can't tell us what a vagina smells like. Exactly, that makes sense.
But I can't do algebra with shit.
Alrighty then.
So anyway. So one of your hobbies is war history. Another one of your hobbies is making stuff with paracord. And I look at you, and you've got these paracord bracelets all over your wrist.
Yes, too. All over my wrist. I'm not like one of those little faggots.
They're big.
With those little bands all over my arm. It's like peace, love, happiness, all those faggoty shit.
Stupid hippies. But anyway, why don't you explain to our friends out in Radio Land what is paracord?
All two of them?
Yeah, all three of them.
Oh, is it three now?
All from Canada.
No, only a third of them are.
They have their own podcast, 1337 FM Nerd Talk Radio. Anyway, the paracord. Explain to people what paracord is, and what kind of cool stuff can you make from it. Obviously, you have bracelets on right now, and you actually made some cool paracord stuff for me, and for I've seen some of the stuff.
Like for your nieces.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's your hobby, and I think it's a neat thing. What's involved? What is it? How do you do it? And how did you get into it?
All right, well, I got into it because I ended up getting sick, so I ended up quit smoking. So I needed a hobby, and a number of years ago, I had some paracord. I had one of those gherkin knives, and I found out you can actually use that to wrap around the handle to make a little decorative handle. I'm like, that's kind of cool. And then a couple years later, whenever I got sick, I'm like, I still got some of this left. Oh, cool. I looked on YouTube, found out, hey, you can make bracelets out of this. And what it originally started, it actually started back in World War II. It was actually used for the risers in parachutes. That's why it's called paracord.
Cool.
The risers are the little strands or whatever that hook it up to the canopy of a parachute. And it's usually called paracord 550 because that's the 550 is the tensile strength. 550 pounds or it takes 550 pounds before it snaps.
I'll be honest with you, when you talking about parachutes, I really thought they were just strings. I didn't think they were braided like that.
Yeah, it actually is.
Huh.
Because they're in paracord 550, you have the colored stuff, the stuff that's colored. That's the outer sheath, and inside there's 7. A good paracord has 7 inner strands.
Mm-hmm. Are they elastic or are they just?
No, they're stretched. They do have bungee cord that they call it. It's just like ordinary bungee strap material, but this stuff is fairly rigid.
Yeah.
It can stretch a tiny little bit, not much, but it's really versatile. Paracord is pretty much, it's just like duct tape. It has 1,001 uses. You can make anything out of it. Guitar strap, rifle sling, bracelets.
That's funny. That just reminds me of Willie Nelson. You said guitar strap. You're talking about guitar. That looks exactly like Willie Nelson's guitar strap. Now I'm looking at your wrist. His is like the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, like woven. Yeah, like that. Yeah,
exactly.
You're right. It is.
He's had this guitar strap for years. I mean, his whole career.
My birthday's next week. Why don't you make me a guitar strap? That would be a sweet present.
You have any idea how much paracord that would take?
I'll buy the paracord. Just make it happen.
It takes a lot.
Dude, I'm sure it probably takes a long time to make something.
That'd take you about a good 6 months, probably.
Make it for my
Not
birthday
quite that
next year.
long, depending on how long. Well, considering how much free time I have at work.
I turned 40 in 7 years. Hit me then. Make it for my 40th birthday if I'm still alive.
I'll hit you with my dick.
Really? You that young?
I turned 33 on Thursday coming up.
Wow, I'm the old guy around here. I'm 40 years old. I'm getting salt pepper in my hair. And
Oh, dude, I'm probably grayer than you are, believe it or not. I just got a haircut.
I
and
just need hair, and I'll be able.
I just got a haircut and shaved, especially my beard. If I let my beard grow, dude, it is gray as shit. It looks terrible.
I'm telling you, Jeff, when you get older, man, your body does not feel the same.
Oh, I'm getting to that point now.
And
It takes me days to recover from anything.
I have this new job where I'm actually sitting on my bum, and I've gained probably about 30 pounds.
Same here. I quit smoking. That's my reason.
That was my problem too. I had that job at the scrapyard. I worked in a truck scale, and I sat in an office all day for 7
That's
years.
basically what I do.
I gained 50 pounds working there. It took.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the worst thing. Now I have, the last 5 years I've had jobs where I'm on my feet all the time, and I've lost most of that weight.
Yeah.
But it's tough having that kind of job where you sit all the
I mean,
time.
I'm probably-
Yeah, it's like I was on after my accident. I was on disability, then on unemployment for about almost 5 months.
Well, plus, you were physically unable to do a lot of things too, and
Yeah,
So I gained about 35 pounds. I came back to work. I lost that weight.
now you're back to normal for the most
But
part.
those-
No, then I got a different job. Now I gained and quit smoking, and then I gained 25 pounds. I'm like,
For those that...
But you look good. You look
Yeah.
all right. You don't
No, I
look
don't.
like you picked up a bunch of weight. No, I don't think you did.
yeah, at least I'm not out in a wheelchair.
Of course, I do see you pretty often, so maybe that has something to do with it too. If you see somebody a lot, you don't notice
damn,
those
he's
kind
kinda
of
shit.
changes. Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know or are listening, you can edit this out, Jeff, if Nick doesn't feel
Yeah,
it.
Joe.
Fuck Nick.
Nick basically fell off a mountain.
It was a waterfall.
Our fans know that.
Waterfall.
They heard it before. We've talked about it.
didn't know
Look it
that.
up on the internet. Actually, I recommend. I think it's the Butler. No, I think it was Newcastle Times has the best article. It's the most informative, even though it's full of inaccuracies. But it's the longest one. I fell 34 feet, not 25, and I am not from New Galilee. I am from New Brighton.
I still don't know exact spot. I mean, I know what park. I just don't know exact spot.
It was McConnell's Mills, right?
Right at the bottom of the falls. That's where I landed.
We're talking about you went in the water and you...
I was laying partially in the water whenever I landed.
You're lucky your
Now, how'd
face
you get
wasn't in the water.
How did you get into the water first?
I had.
He fell.
If you
No.
I'm gonna throw this notebook at you again. No, but so everyone says like a hiking accident. It's like not really, because you need to climb to get up to the top. There's a trail that leads down to the bottom of the falls, but you have to kind of climb a bit, like climbing on holding onto roots for hand and footholds to get to the top of the waterfall.
Okay, is this right beside the mill itself?
This is maybe 100 yards before the mill.
Okay, now I get what you're talking about. I thought it was, what I'm talking about, that building down at the bottom of the hill. You know what I mean?
The mill, yeah.
The mill itself.
Henceforth the name.
Yeah, McConnell's mill, but...
But anyhow, yeah.
Gee, thanks, sir. Thank you for staying with me.
Oh, don't talk like that. You'll piss off all the Hillary voters, guys. Come on now.
Well, we didn't say the R word. Rhetorical.
So you got pretty sick of smoking? Is that what you're saying?
No. Oh, here's a fun part. It says like, well, if you quit smoking, they'll add 10 years to your life. Yeah, well, guess what? I quit smoking for 2 weeks and I fucking died. Every time I try to quit smoking, it actually has an adverse effect. I actually get sicker. Something bad happens. I nearly fucking die.
So basically, you're a proponent for Philip Morris. Like they've hired you. Like if I quit smoking, I die. Everybody light up.
Fund me.
Yeah, I was just trying to say, because I was asking you because I know it's the hardest thing. I'm a smoker myself, and I've been smoking for almost 20 years. 20 years of trying to quit and failing, trying to quit. Now, I'd say about 8 years ago, I quit for a year and a half on Chantix. But here's the kicker. Insurance will not pay for Chantix. And it's funny, is like, I think we were thinking about this earlier, I was thinking about this earlier, is what I meant to say, is, they charge you and they drill you, quit smoking.
Quit smoking. We're not going to help you to, but you should do it.
Yeah.
It's bad for your health. You should not do it.
So basically what you're saying is the insurance company wasn't going to cover the drug to help you quit smoking, even though they tell you
But
you
if you
should
quit smoking, you'll save money on your insurance, and it'll better improve you.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
And here's the thing: in the end, if you're a smoker, and I this is one of the reasons was one of my fears. Everyone knows you can get cancer.
Sure,
Okay.
it's a known fact. I mean, the tobacco companies argue it, but
And they're
it's a
going to
fact.
be paying out of their yin yang later if they don't help the people now.
Here's what they bank on, okay? First off, the first thing the insurance company asks you, when you sign up for insurance, if you get a new job, you sign up for the insurance, the first thing they ask you after your personal information is, everybody,
smoker?
Are you a smoker?
smoker?
No, are you a tobacco user?
Yes,
I think
exactly.
they now all encompass.
Well, they're trying
Yeah,
to be
well,
more specific.
because chewing tobacco causes mouth cancer.
Yeah.
Smoking causes lung cancer.
or
And
people,
tooth loss.
or if you're not allowed to smoke where you work, they revert back to chewing.
Exactly.
Or they'll use
so
chew tobacco.
They charge you a higher premium, okay? So they're every month or every week or whatever. Let's say you get paid from your job every 2 weeks, most people do. And out of that job paycheck comes your insurance premium. And it's going to be such and such X dollars higher if you weren't a smoker, okay? Every week, every 2 weeks, they're taking that money from you. They're banking on the fact that you will pass away and die before they ever have to cover you for anything. That's what it is.
Or you'll quit that company.
Or you'll quit their company. And that happens often too, especially if you have insurance through work. I mean, it happens. You lose your job, you quit your job, go to a new job, you end up quitting that insurance company. I mean, I had a job for the last 3.5 years. I just recently quit that job. I had insurance through them. I used it exactly one time. Exactly once. I went to the doctor in those 3.5 years. But they've gotten $30 a week from me for 3.5 years. Okay? That is like almost 200 weeks that I paid $30. Think of that. How much money is that? That's
Maybe
six grand.
grand, yeah.
And that's just one person.
And when I went to the doctor, they charged me a copay of $50. So
50.
$50
Wow, Jeff,
for a
that's
physical.
really high.
But that's how insurance companies get you. They know that you're not going to be with them forever. They know that chances are that you are probably not going to use all the extension of your benefits. You're not going to go to the physical twice a year. You're not going to use the dentist twice a year. Although I do go to the dentist. I'm a little anal about my teeth. But that being said, that's where the insurance company gets you. When they know that you're a smoker, they know they can bang you for that higher premium. And the last thing they want to do is help you quit smoking. Because if they were to supply you with a drug like Chantix, they're going to cover, if they were to cover the cost of that, I'm sure it's an expensive drug. I have no idea what it costs, but I'm sure it was probably quite a bit out of your pocket.
I will give you the price. I just recently looked it up. $240 just to start for the starter pack. Doctors are recommending it for you to take it for 6 months. Do you know how much it costs to smoke
It's probably a lot more than that.
Isn't it like $6.80 a pack now?
A carton of cigarettes is at $60 in Ohio.
And it's cheaper in Ohio
It
than it
used
is
to
in
be.
PA.
Whenever I used to smoke, I remember it was years ago. I would go to Negley. No, I think it's Negley.
I think
Yeah,
was
right
like
across the border of Darwin.
$2.85 a pack, and then like a few months later, it jumped 75 cents.
recently it just
And then
jumped
it's
up a
doubled.
dollar.
Yeah, about
And then
3 or
it's-
4 months ago or something,
Yeah.
they just added a new tax in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
and just just blink and I was smoking, and then I wanted to quit. I got sick with this pneumonia, and just cough wouldn't go away. So just recently, I was like, man, it urged me to quit. Try to quit, and I'm still working on it. I went for a week without it, and then they changed that over to $1 more. I'm like, this is nuts. And I go in Ohio and buy stuff in East Palestine, and we're in Western PA, so that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Where you live, you're 10 minutes away from East
Yeah,
Palestine,
you can
Ohio.
get gas
Yeah, you're
for
right across.
cheaper, and and it's just the way it is.
That's just how it is. Because, dude, I'm telling you what, man, tobacco is one of the biggest businesses in America and has been since the 1600s, okay? When Europe found out there was tobacco in America, everybody saw dollar
Holy
signs.
crap! This stuff grows great here.
Yeah, and
Here's
people
the-
realize they can chew it, they can use it to enjoy it in whatever way, and that's fine. I have nothing against people who use tobacco, don't get me wrong.
Here's the thing.
Actually,
though,
cigarettes never really came around until the 19th century.
yeah, well, here's my thing. I
It
thought
came
too.
with snuff.
I don't think it's any more expensive cost price of the farmer who sells it as opposed to any other food like corn or soy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crop.
It's a
It
crop.
sucks up the nutrients in the ground, I believe. I think it really tears up the ground. It sucks up all the nutrients. I do believe.
I have no idea.
But they've gone around that. Well, my point is that the cost price of per seed and growing it as compared to other crops, and how much they turn around, the percentage of the price they make on it, it's got to be like 400 to 500% profit.
I have no idea, but I will tell you this.
Want to smoke some seed with me? Get some tobacco with some weed.
Dude, here's what I'm getting at. So you got the insurance company, okay? They might charge you $20 more per paycheck than they would charge a non-smoker. You're a dumbass. Anyway,
Say it again.
the insurance companies they're making, $10 to $20 more per paycheck off of you than they would make off of a non-smoker, let's say, okay? They don't want to quit smoke. They don't want you to quit smoking because they know they can get more money out of you that way. And chances are that you're not going to cash in on that insurance by going to the doctor or whatever. Because, I mean, everybody knows that smoking causes cancer, but it's not a majority. I mean, 1 out of 100 smokers probably gets cancer. So the insurance company's not going to be paying out the kind of money.
Oh, I don't think it would be higher than that due to smoking.
Okay.
But there is also the genetic predisposition.
There's a lot of stuff that goes
cancers.
into it, right?
Yeah.
But that was just a number I just threw out there. Okay, it's a minority.
Yeah.
It's a very low minority.
If you had, if you were to have like 100,000 subscribers, you would have people jumping all over that stat. It's like, oh no, you got 1% out of 3 get cancer.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what they say.
That's what I mean.
All I'm saying is I've grown up knowing many, many smokers, and only exactly one of them has gotten cancer from smoking. What I'm saying is, though, the tobacco companies and the insurance companies work together. Tobacco is a huge industry, like I said. They make a ton of money. Tons of money. They're raking in the cash from smokers, chewers, everything else.
Oh, you're in your 60s and 70s and you're quitting smoking? That's unfortunate. I got 15 kids under the age of 15 that are starting to smoke right now.
If the insurance company is not going to cover drugs to help you, like Chantix, and there's other ones, the reason they don't cover that is, one, yeah, like I said, they're going to get more money from you. Two, the tobacco companies, they're shoving a little money down the insurance company's throat. They're like, hey, we made $95 billion. Just making up a number. We made $95 billion.
They're opening up the pocket like, here you go, little buddy.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a little buddy?
Yeah.
Why not give a few $1 million to each one of these insurance companies every year
You would think the Miss Willis, they're fine pie.
to not cover Chantix?
But then again, there's the other side of the bill. You think about these drug companies that make Chantix, how much money they are banking on with selling this product, you can quit smoking. So,
Oh, look at the EpiPen.
That's a good point,
Even.
too. Yeah, the EpiPen's a good thing. We'll talk about that in a second. A drug like Chantix, okay, that makes sense, and here's why. The insurance company, whenever they have to pay for drugs, I'm willing to bet they get it at a wholesale cost. So, if, let's just say, for example, Chantix per pill might be, let's say it's $5 a pill if you were to go to the pharmacy and buy it. But the insurance company might only pay $2 per pill to buy that. So the drug company, knowing that it's not covered by the insurance company, can charge a higher amount to the consumer, and therefore they're making more money as well. And Chantix ain't the only one. There's a ton of
it's
other
ridiculous. Yeah, Nick.
I know. I have a perfect example. This is one that I just came across recently. I have a Jack Russell Terrier who has seizures. I have epilepsy.
That's why you guys get along.
Yes, I know. That's why she's my bitch.
Oh man.
Play on words, everybody.
Buddhist.
Anyhow, she's on phenobarbital.
Say that 5 times fast.
Phenobarbital. Okay.
You
I've
have
been drinking,
Pepsi.
so fuck you. Anyhow,
You're mean.
she's on phenobarbital for my bitch. Oh, give me a break. I'll give you that look.
He's not wrong, Chuck. He's not wrong.
Yeah, she's a female. Anyhow, it was $115 to get 1 month's prescription for her.
Wow.
Yet you go on, I believe it is
Wait. Say that again.
$115.
Let me check my headphones.
$115
That's 115 with a dollar
For-
sign in
You're
front
paying
of it.
that for a dog?
for a dog.
A dog.
A dog. One
D-O-G.
or
because-
G-O-D if you're dyslexic.
You're nuts. One. Number two, I'm sorry. I'm not
You
a
love
big
your dog
pet-
too much. Or your
I-
pet
That's a
too
discussion
much.
for another day because I know
I'm not a
people
big
who've
cat
spent
fan,
thousands of
so-
dollars on their pets.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Well, that's
cat
coming from
fan.
somebody had a cat.
Continue with
Well,
your example.
yeah.
So you spend $115 per month for your dog's
But
medication.
if you look on the website, I think it's called
bitchesandheat.com.
no.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a
No, it's
website
about
I like to
prescription.
visit.
It's like betterscripts.com or something like that. I don't recall or better.
Anyway, so it's a
bettermeds.com.
discount. It's a discount drug website.
You
for
look
your
on
dog.
online and it'll show you where you can get meds cheaper.
Oh, okay. It's like a Travago for drugs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Medication, prescription medications.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't mean like cocaine.
I could get it through Walgreens for $36. It's the same medication, but through a regular pharmacy. A pharmacy for human prescriptions. It was a third of the price.
Wait a minute. So when you were paying the 115, who were you getting? This was through your insurance company?
No, this is through the veterinarian.
Oh, through the vet.
I should
Okay,
say,
okay.
yes. I don't. I didn't say that.
Okay. No, I got you. I
But
understand.
they recommended.
dog.
I asked them about that, and they told me. Or
Hey,
they
get
looked
this.
up on
We
the
have
website.
it right here at our pharmacy in our veterinarian's office.
Or
you can
you
have
can-
it today for this.
Or you can look it up, and it's like, well, you can get it. We can call it in through Walgreens for me. They were very accommodating for me. We can call it in for you. Any of these locations right here, we can call it in for you. He's like, well, Walgreens, because my parents get their medications through there. $36. I'm like, and even the prescription bottle said Baden for dog or for canine.
It's not a generic version of the drug. It's the exact same
it's
drug.
phenobarbital.
Okay.
And it's meant for animals only?
I believe it's the same. I think it's the dosage size that it depends on the dog. So,
Is this a mail service or just a mail-in service? Not a mail service. Mail-in, like
a mail in for my bitch? Yes.
U.S. mail. Okay, so this is not a mail service for you. You're talking about. You can
This
get
is
it
an actual
cheaper?
pharmacy. This is Walgreens in like
Okay.
Rochester, or
Because
Chippewa,
I
or
know
whatever.
they
Okay.
do have that. Even for Walgreens has that.
It was in it was in Rochester. We went to.
Yeah, you can have it mailed to your house.
No.
Yeah,
So
like
I remember
Patriot
my
Services or
my
one of
old
those.
job used to have Med Express, whatever you get your
Med Express
medications
is big one,
Yeah.
Mailed to your.
Well, the reason they do that, though, if you think about it, and it does make sense. If you're at the doctor's office, a Med Express, the vet's office, whatever, they charge a hell of a lot more for that pill because a lot more people are dependent on the money that comes from that.
Yeah, but it's like Joe's. There's a relative of Joe, who she doesn't have insurance, so she cannot afford Depakote like I have, because she has seizures. I have seizures too because I have epilepsy, so she takes phenobarbital because it's cheaper than Depakote.
What's the difference between the drugs?
I'm not exactly sure, but in that instance,
Depakote, if it's more expensive, it might be a little
it's
more
one of those.
powerful
That's
or
the only
something.
thing that makes a difference is the price.
Yeah.
It's like me, I'm on a generic form of it, but even whenever I was on unemployment, it was $400 a month just on the Depakote ER. And now I am on 2 medications. Now I'm on Advair for my breathing, because I have chronic bronchitis or asthma. At one time, one of those little discs was $500 a month. One of them
Insane.
without insurance.
You brought up the EpiPen thing, and that's a hot button topic right now. Are you familiar with this whole deal with the EpiPen?
Yeah, it's for
Anaphylactic-
diabetes.
No, allergies.
Yeah.
Oh, allergies.
Yeah.
Mostly like bee stings.
Diabetic
Yeah,
stuff.
if
is
you-
anaphylactic
expensive too.
Yeah, if you go into
Anaphylactic shock.
and you need, like, right now, some people who have food allergies, people
Yeah,
who have,
bees.
like, bee allergies,
things.
there's
Yeah,
this
I know
little
what you're talking
pen,
about,
you
yeah.
stab it in your thigh, and
My
it
sister
stops.
used to be allergic to pins. Yeah,
So what are they charging for one of these now?
Well,
$600.
it used to be a regular thing. Like, you could go
Are
to
you
Walgreens
nuts?
and buy one
No.
for, I don't know what it was costing. Maybe it was something affordable, $20, $30, $50, something like that.
It ballooned.
And
It was either $600 or it ballooned like 600%.
People in America are getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah. Insurance
We
and
need to
medication
say
companies.
something.
Oh, I told you
Who
to
just
silence the
did
phone, and you didn't.
you-
Oh, you sinner.
That's why he's only been on this show once.
Yep, you ain't welcome back. No, I'm just kidding.
I was my wife, Raquel, my beautiful wife. I love her from high school. I
And
met
it's because
her.
of her, you're never going to be on the show again.
That ain't the reason. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just joking, Chuck.
I love you all too.
So anyway, back to what we were talking about. So EpiPen, yeah, that's a great example. There was another drug about a year, maybe 2 years ago that had a similar thing. I can't remember what it was. But the
And
guy,
that's why we're not going to talk about it.
I can't remember. It might have been. It was some sort of major treatment that people needed, and some
Fuck it
dude basically bought the company, and then he jacked the price way up.
Fuck it all.
Yeah, fuck it
I
all.
don't feel nothing. I don't give nothing. I
give
care
no
nothing.
craps.
God bless Robin Williams.
I love Robbie Williams.
I just got Robin Williams live on Broadway on DVD. I had it on VHS, but my VCR shit the bed,
Joe and I watched it a while back. It's
so I had to go out and buy it on DVD.
Nick, do you have a lot of his CDs?
I actually
You
have
have
Robin
all.
Williams live at the Met on CD.
I might have some stuff for you. You can have it. I listened to it once.
I would love to listen to some of that
You
stuff.
are a big fan of it. So
Actually, I just bought 2 shirts of it with him.
Okay.
One has it's a I was kind of disappointed because it came from China and it's polyester, but it is a picture montage of a lot of his characters. It has him from like Mrs. Doubtfire, Mork and Mindy,
Mork probably has maybe
Millennium Man or whatever.
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. That was when he was the robot, right?
Yeah.
Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
How about Peter Pan from Hook?
No, actually, I don't think it did.
Oh, that's an iconic character.
I do have a shirt. Good Morning Vietnam.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I spent $30 on that shirt. That one I'd like.
Very
Not
talented
pricey.
man. Very talented.
Sorely
man.
missed. Well, actually, going back to I'm going to segue back into digressing back into my paracord.
Okay.
It's, I made. Who just dings?
Silence the phone, man.
No, that's the iPad.
It's iPad.
Oh, Chuck, you
I'm
and your
sorry, guys.
electronics just
Yeah,
killing the
Yeah, the
killing
old
mood
guys
here.
and their new technology and all this shit.
I don't know how to do this on iPad.
Next thing you
man.
know,
You pull out the battery.
the alarm on his pocket watch is going to go off next.
There's
Mickey
no-
Mouse watch.
Yeah, I could just shut it off.
But anyway, one of the first things I got into was with Robin Williams was Mork and Mindy.
The show was pretty funny.
We'll wait for Chuck to.
I'm so sorry, guys. We can edit this part out.
No, I'm not going to. We're going to humiliate you. Yep.
I'm trying to shut it up.
Shut up, Siri.
Siri, shut up.
Ding. No, you shut up.
Eat me! Not my buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
Ding. I like the way you touch me, Chuck.
You guys are some goofballs, man. I love y'all.
about you, I touch myself.
Oh, I don't want anybody else. That's enough of that.
That's one thing we do is there's at least 2 or 3 moments where we always sing. But at least be harmonized well, though.
Those are usually the parts where people hit the fast forward button on the YouTube video.
yeah.
Yeah. They're like, up 30 seconds forward. I'm hitting
God
right
bless the fast forward button.
Well, you know.
But as we digress, or I digress, excuse me, Joe. But I was always,
now. Joe Statzer, come back to the podcast, please, by the way. Haven't seen him in like 3 weeks.
thou shalt not mention last names.
He's on like a third of my podcast. I could say his last name.
Okay.
Besides, he's
Dick.
one of my best friends.
Anyhow, but
He loves the dick.
one of my
You should meet Joe, Chuck. You'd like him. He's hilarious, man.
Alrighty then.
Hardcore movie fan,
comic books,
big time comic book guy.
Superman.
Yeah.
He's on a bunch of the podcasts. He's a good dude. He's one of my close
And
friends.
also,
I'm a
he's lot of-
comic book fan.
A lot of the
man.
comic book or a lot of the ones he does like half-hour ones. So
Yeah.
it's good. You say you don't have very much of an attention span. It's better because
he
not
also
everybody-
has no attention span as well.
not
You and Joe
everybody
get
has a
along very
huge
well,
attention
actually.
span or has a whole lot of time to sit down and listen to something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I struggled with when I was a child. Growing up, I was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, and a lot of people were at that time because it was a highly misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
It was
thing.
yeah.
And it is.
My kid is just too active. Just
Calming
get
down.
him on a
Give
pill
him some Ritalin
to calm
and
him
shut
down.
him up. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but-
a shame, but it is what it
As
is.
opposed to just getting them involved into some kind of activity.
Find what
or
it is
something.
that takes their
Yes.
But even
With you, it's music.
Yeah.
With some kids, it's baseball. With
Yeah.
other kids, they never found it because they just drugged them up and made them stupid.
Well, it actually I do believe that the truth that with me, because it's followed me into my adulthood. Most people, when they're young, they kind of grow out of it, but this is a different type where it's non hyperactive. I just have a hard time focusing. It's just like we were talking earlier about books. When it comes to reading books, I've read a whole series of Left Behind's books, but I have to have audio.
Yeah.
Because I cannot focus.
Well, that's like what I was saying before. It's like I was having problems. I would think I was having problems. I might have. I don't know if it's possible to develop ADD or ADHD going up, or because of my concussion I had.
I was just going to say,
later on
if you have some sort of traumatic thing, or if you do something that like kills brain cells, like for instance, if you drink all the time, or you smoke a lot of marijuana, or something like that, that's the kind of thing that you could develop. I think. Like
I used to be able to sit down for like an hour and read a book. Now.
You were always big in the books.
You know that.
Yeah, I remember.
Now I'm doing like
history books,
10, 15 minutes, and I have to move on to something else.
That's why I really respect about you. You know that history stuff. Didn't you go to school for that?
Yes, I failed miserably at it.
Here's the difference between you and me, Nick, real quick. I like to read that sort of thing too, and I have read a lot. I can't retain the knowledge like you can. That's my problem.
One thing you need to do is, whenever it comes to retention, I remember a lot of this stuff because I read a lot of the books that talk about that same thing or reiterate that. So that way,
you read you might read 3 history books, and they all have a couple of things that kind of repeat themselves.
Or mention the same thing, or it
makes sense.
Begins the same way.
And then you have that moment
just
like, oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Just like about World War I aviation, they talk about the beginnings of aerial warfare. So that way it's pounded back into you repetitively.
Makes sense.
The basics are pounded into or reiterated to you each and every time.
Well, I know when I was in high school and then we used to go over Civil War, history of Civil War, I was really fascinated about that.
You actually learned about the Civil War?
In high school.
We did too, yeah.
They just passed right through it.
I took a whole class on Civil War. It was one of the most fascinating classes I ever took.
It was like a week or two on it, a week and a half on it. It was very, very brief, but it was like a chapter and a half. It was part of American history book that we had to follow back in the day. You obviously start off of the colonization of North America to what it was present day back in the 90s. So, a little bit of flash of what happened back in the 80s.
But as a side note, if you want someplace to go to, it's beautiful. If you get beautiful weather, go to Gettysburg. I highly recommend it.
I want to in the worst way.
It is so beautiful.
My mom and dad went a couple years ago. Did you go with him?
No,
you didn't go with him on that trip.
But I went to back in May. I went there with 2 guys I work with, and a buddy of one of them. The guy Troy and his buddy John. They're both Civil War reenactors with the 64th Pennsylvania Regiment. Actually, Nikki's dad was a member back in the 90s.
Yeah, he was into that sort of thing back in the
living
day.
history or whatever.
Fascinating. That the Civil War is I don't know if it's my favorite. That sounds kind of sadistic. It's my favorite war, but
it's here.
It is here. This area.
It's your own country's history.
In this area, you know, Pennsylvania.
You can see it. You can go to see where these events happened.
It's fascinating.
And
like I said, I find Vietnam to probably be the most fascinating war for me personally. But the Civil War is amazing.
You go there onto Seminary Ridge, and you think, at one time there were 13,000 men marched across this open field,
and they mostly died.
only a third of them became casualties, but under canister fire, solid shot, musket fire. It's like an orderly lines. It's like it's mind-boggling to think.
That's the most mind-boggling thing. And it's how people would charge into war like that.
Now you hold on to a musket ball or a mini ball or a musket ball or a canister shot from the Civil War, and that little bastard, it's a solid piece of lead.
Yeah, they're heavy.
And you are marching into that.
And the medical end of it, like, it's not like today where if a soldier gets patched up and they get a single bullet in their arm, they're not going to die or they're not going to lose. There's more
if you survive the first 24 hours, you will survive.
There's more of a chance of not losing a limb.
Yes.
Back then, even
nowadays, it's quite common to fit somebody with an artificial limb.
Yeah. But back then, I'm trying to say is if they got hit, on any penitentiary, they're losing it.
Their chances of survival were very
Even
low.
if they were to
Very,
lose a
very,
finger,
very,
they could
very.
die from infection.
Infection was I was just going to say that, penicillin really changed the world. Before that, like in the Civil War, World War One, there was no anti-infection medicine.
No antibiotics.
Antibiotic. Thank you. That's the
Yeah.
word I was searching for.
Well, actually, Chuck, earlier you had mentioned peppermint. That's one reason why I don't care for peppermint is because there was a. If you go up to the seminary up in Gettysburg, they have an autopsy kit, but they had an embalming kit, and one of the chemicals that they used was peppermint oil.
Why? What did it do? Just did it smell?
It was
Didn't
delicious.
smell you, or it didn't smell or helped you smell better,
So it reduces the smell of like gangrene and stuff like that. You mean?
or just the smell of
Just flesh and
decay,
disgustingness.
yeah, decay.
That's amazing. That's
That's
amazing.
it.
I did
Think
not
of how
know that.
primitive that is.
There's just so much stuff that goes.
Okay, so before that, did you actually like peppermint?
No, but still.
Oh, man. I don't know.
But that just helped reinforce my dislike for peppermint.
Yeah, I was just telling Nick earlier that I had a kick for a peppermint tea, and just explaining that to him. He's like, "Ew, gross."
peppermint yaki.
But he's like, "Oh yeah, well with a spearmint, yeah, man, that would be cool."
Spearmint's way
to
better.
me, it's
Yes.
the same thing. That's me.
You can chew on spearmint. You can't chew on peppermint.
Yes, well, both wild.
Peppermint.
They're both
crippled
wild
mankind.
leaf. They're both wild leaves, right? Or is one just?
I don't know about peppermint. I know spearmint is.
Peppermint, I think, is a facade. Like,
Marijuana's a wild leaf. And
it's
that's illegal.
not-
Just saying.
Well, it's like it's similar to coffee. Coffee comes regular coffee comes from the coffee beans. Decaf coffee comes from the dirt.
From the dirt. Yeah. That's why it tastes so terrible. No. So it's funny you mentioned coffee. I just watched
this one's for my wife. It's just brown water.
that tastes wonderful
Delicious.
and makes you caffeinated.
Yeah, no.
makes you tolerable in the
The
morning.
history of coffee is wonderful, by the way. Have you ever watched any documentaries or read anything about
I haven't
coffee?
written anything. No.
Unbelievable. You should check it out. Like I was just watching a show on History Channel the other day. It was about like the
It's like
20
the history of alcohol in
Yeah.
America.
No, well,
So
that's also
Billy Ray
fascinating.
Cyrus.
No. I saw that one too recently. Actually, they were talking about moonshiners. And
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus. It was really good. It was about rednecks actually, hillbillies. It was like the history of hillbillies in America. It was very fascinating. Coffee is amazing because coffee did not originate in the Americas.
Actually,
America.
a certain amount of coffee is actually good for you.
Yeah,
Because
like
of the
1 to 2 cups a
oxidants,
day.
antioxidants.
Yeah, it's good for you.
But when it
Helps
comes
your blood
to
flow
the
better.
when it
Yeah,
comes
so
to
drink a
the
lot of coffee,
caffeine,
drink a lot of wine.
comes to the caffeine. If you're overdoing caffeine, it's not good.
If
for
you
your
ever
heart.
do anything, it's not good. I mean, you can drink water until water can kill you if you drink too much of
A
it.
lot of bananas.
But
Potassium.
with the coffee, here's what's cool about it. If I remember correctly, basically, coffee was a big thing. It's from Southeast Asia,
America.
Java. No, South America didn't have coffee. It was brought here.
No, it's from Starbucks.
Yeah, come from Seattle, 1968. Basically,
With a little mermaid with fake nipples.
one of the French kings, I don't remember which one. One of the French kings was gifted a single coffee plant from like Java or the Philippines or something like that. Okay.
It's still highly expensive. You
No,
go
no,
to
no, no.
Starbucks.
No. Yeah, you're right.
No, I was just joking.
You're paying
I'm
for the
sorry.
milk
Yeah.
and the whipped cream and all
overpriced.
that stuff then. But what I'm getting at is coffee was, spices were the biggest trade in the world back in the 1700s. That was one of the big reasons why exploration happened. The age of exploration, people wanted to figure out a
Salt,
way to get to India to
spices.
get salt, spices, all that good stuff.
It needs a
Coffee
way to
was one of
preserve
those
foods.
items. When people in Europe found out about coffee, they lost their minds. They're like, coffee, this stuff is awesome.
This is hot shit.
So one of the kings of France, I don't remember which one, he was gifted by another country a single coffee plant. He built a greenhouse around this plant. He had it guarded 24/7 because he didn't want nobody messing with this plant. There was an explorer, I don't know the guy's name, he's not one of the famous ones, he's not Ponce de Leon or Columbus or one of them. There was an explorer in, I want to say, the 1700s, who really, really wanted to take this coffee and bring it to America. He knew that a lot of really great plants can grow here, the climate's great, and mostly South America. The climate is perfect for coffee. It is something that can be grown in America and could make tons of profit. This king didn't want to give up his coffee plant. Not the whole plant. He wouldn't give up a single piece of the plant. That's all you need. Coffee grows very easily. It's like corn. You can cut off one leaf, you can put it in the ground, and it'll grow. This guy was not given permission to take this coffee plant. So he broke into the greenhouse on the royal court, wherever it is in France, in Paris, or wherever the hell it was. He gets a piece of this coffee plant, makes the grueling trip on a ship across the Atlantic to America.
About
Nearly
3
dies.
months long.
however long it was, nearly dies many times, puts the life of the plant ahead of his own. There were situations where I think there was a mutiny on his boat.
Wow, that's neat. Where'd you know?
some
I just
people-
saw this on the History Channel.
Well,
Really?
some people will kill for coffee.
What's the documentary called?
It was like it wasn't about coffee. It was about like just I think it was like 20 modern things, history of 20 modern things, something like that.
Is this on YouTube?
It was on History Channel.
I would think it would.
Well,
watched it a
I'm
couple
sure
weeks
it
ago.
would be
I
on
figure there'd
YouTube.
be
A lot of people-
episodes of it on YouTube, probably.
So
Yeah.
it was a 2-hour like show. So anyway, this coffee plant, this dude makes it. He gets to one of the islands in the Caribbean somewhere, ends up growing this coffee, and it spreads all through South America. All South American coffee, which is some of the higher coveted coffee in the world, especially Brazil, Colombia, all comes from this one plant.
Guatemala.
Really? That's
Even though
really
it's
neat.
Central America.
I'm going to have to find that
Panama.
documentary and
It's
play it.
awesome.
That sounds
play
really
it
cool.
for Raquel.
It is awesome.
She is like a big coffee fan, so like she
It was like a 5-minute piece during this episode because they were talking
Personally,
about like everything from like
I think Guatemala
you know,
coffee is the best I've tasted.
Well, I don't know the difference. A bean is a bean, and that's
yeah.
why-
I was
that's-
never a big coffee fan until about 5 years
That-
ago, but
that's-
now I'm starting to get into
I say like
it.
Guatemala.
That's why I refuse to pay $5 for a cup of coffee at freaking Starbucks.
All right, here's a little trivia question. Where's the only coffee that's made in the United States?
That's a good question. You mean where does it grow?
Yeah. What
I'll
state
just-
or what type?
I'll just take a guess and say California. I would
That's
like
a
to change
good
my
question,
guess. I just
man.
thought
I
of it.
don't know.
Hawaii probably.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Kona,
that makes sense. Further
Kona-
south.
It's 'cause
yeah.
Kona
It's-
coffee.
Oh, Kona. Duh.
I think it's just because of just the way the soil conditions are.
Isn't Jamaica a part of? It's part of the United States, but it's not. It's
no, it's its own country. You're thinking of Puerto Rico.
yeah,
Yeah,
Puerto
it's
Rico.
a-
Puerto Rico's its own country, but it's an American sovereignty or something.
Yeah, sovereignty.
There's something
Do
there.
they
It's like
grow
Guam.
it there?
I don't believe so.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I mean, all of the Caribbean. I
Yeah,
mean,
all that-
sugar
Awesome.
grows all over the place. You would think if sugar grows, coffee will grow.
Yeah.
And it's coffee's such a
No,
huge
no, they
cash
grow
crop.
rum.
No, they grow sugar and then turn it into rum.
Red rum.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is always the rum gone?
My rum is gone, actually. My cup is empty.
That's nice. Why don't you give me a refill?
I would, but I can't. Anyway, I gotta run a podcast. Anyway, that story
Well, I
of
was
coffee was absolutely fascinating.
I was supposed to run a story about paracord, and yeah, we got digressed away
Well,
from
let's
it.
talk about that
Twice.
then, douche. Here, I'll tell you what. Start your paracord story, and I'll go get us a drink.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was going back to what I was going to... The second time I was going to try to segue myself back into the paracord story was I made a bracelet that was in the color scheme of Morik's suspenders. You know, the rainbow colors, whatever. It's red, white, blue, orange, yellow, red, and instead of purple,
Yeah.
as if it was purple, that'd be gay pride, it was black.
Nick, you know this. I want to say this. You knew my dad was a Shriner clown, right?
I don't know Shriner Club, but I do remember he was a clown.
When he started.
I wish I still had that little toy gun that bang gun of his.
Oh yeah,
I remember you gave it.
yeah.
That was like the coolest thing I ever had.
Yeah,
I love that. That was so cool.
My dad, for those who don't know, he was a Shriner clown. And he started off by just doing a little clowning, doing a clown show with little parties, and then he met the gentleman through the Masons, Freemasons that are Shriners that do the clowning, and what they do is they half of them. Well, what I meant to say is they raise money. Half a portion of that goes to the burn unit at the Children's Hospital. He met them, and when he was starting out, he had suspenders just like the ones you're describing, the Robin Williams ones. Because back then, that show was so popular.
I think I came out in I think it was 1978.
Yeah, but this was in
I
the
do believe.
this was in the 80s, okay? I was probably about 10 years old. I was born in 76. Guys, do the math there.
He's old.
Yeah, well, anyways, but so he must have found these suspenders in a thrift store, like a Salvation Army thrift store.
Yeah, because there was no eBay or Amazon at the time.
Well, yeah, it wasn't until
It was
the 90s
back in the days.
we got that,
It was back in the days whenever you actually had to order things through a catalog.
and you got lucky if you found something like that in a store, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that now there's open ways of buying stuff like that. Yeah, but my dad, and I miss him to death. He's been passed for. Man, that was about 14 years ago. Gee, you were around then.
No,
Yeah, it was before that.
I met you in 2002. That's whenever I first met.
Okay, so
Met
he
Dave and
must
all
have
them.
died in 2001 or 2000.
I think that sounds about right because I think it was a
Yeah.
few years.
So
Yeah,
it's
past few
been
years.
about 16 years then. Oh wow. So I know everyone is probably you've lost someone before, but my dad, he died of cancer. He had lymphoma, and he fought for 4 years, and God blessed us one more Christmas with us, and it was time for him to go home. So I miss him, but this is just the memories that you remind me of when you say suspenders, or you say clown stuff, or balloons, or magic. My dad was a member of the Mystic Magicians of Beaver County, and that was just a men's group who enjoyed the hobby of performing magic, whether it be large illusions or small hand tricks, or card tricks, or pocket magic. And he just loved it so much he tried to share it with me. So I got into it when I was a little kid, and I'm no longer into it, obviously, but I think I got his showmanship, for love for entertaining people through that, because
There's something like a thrill you get whenever you're entertaining others.
and they actually like it.
Yeah, it's like you get a crowd of people laughing or cheering, and it's a thrill. It's really cool.
I mean, that's why I play guitar. One of the things that people enjoy a recording I've done, or a performance.
Yeah, it's like you were
It's,
saying how like people giving back to something is because doing something that they like doing.
Yeah,
It's,
and we talked about last podcast how much music it really reaches somebody's soul. So how can that not reach somebody's soul?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like whenever I was in Gettysburg with a couple guys that I work with, we came across a woman who has a organization who works with veterans dealing with like post-traumatic stress disorder, and just helping veterans, or helping people that have served. And her organization, she's a CEO of an organization. It's called rootsforboots.com. I'll ask Jeff to leave a link in the description box for it.
I will be sure to do that.
But the guy who I worked with, his name is Troy. He's a Civil War reenactor, and so is a buddy of his. And so she was talking with him because she was doing a photo shoot with a Marine, and we're looking down there, and we're on top of the Pennsylvania Monument, and this is a massive monument.
what does it look like, the monument? Is it like a sculpture of something? What's the sculpture of?
Well, let me keep on talking. I'll try to look up a picture of it for you guys. There we go.
For the radio audience at home,
Pretty
who
much,
can't see this.
after the Battle of Gettysburg,
Well, you could always post it on Facebook.
for the next 50 years after the battle in 1863,
Wow, that's nice.
pretty much Pennsylvania and New York had a pissing contest on who was going to have the biggest monument,
Nick, that's pretty amazing.
and
what you
Pennsylvania
showed me.
won. But we're at the top of this. It's like a miniature version of the Capitol building. Pretty much, this thing is massive.
It's a
For a
beautiful
monument.
artwork.
Yes,
That's all.
beautiful.
But it's just like I want to describe it to the listeners as
Pretty much look like a miniaturized version of the Capitol building, and on the outside there's brass plaques.
Well, have you ever been to the Andrew Jackson Memorial? That's what I was thinking.
No,
Yeah,
where's that at?
in D.C.
I don't think Andrew Jackson has a memorial.
Oh, what was that?
Thomas Jefferson?
I'm sorry.
Actually, I don't think
Thomas
I've ever been to
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson's.
It looks like that, but it's the Thomas Jefferson one is more wider. It is literally a little bit wider, and it sits down right by the water. So it's like that, but it's kind of like that. I just trying to describe it.
It is a really big monument. It's really impressive.
Thank you for showing me. That was pretty enjoyable.
Anyway, we looked down and, well, it's not really important. But anyhow, we started talking to the CEO of this organization, rootsforboots.com, and Troy's oldest son, I think it's his oldest son, is in the Marine Corps. Troy was going to go in the Marine Corps, but turns out his future his wife at the time ended up becoming pregnant, so he had to drop out. Anyway, we're talking about that, and I told her that I make, or that with paracord that I can make awareness ribbons. You can use certain colors or synonymous with certain awareness for certain medical conditions or whatever. Like pink is synonymous with breast cancer.
Yeah.
Teal is synonymous with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
So I told her
What's the purple ones mean?
it could be. You look up a chart. There could be
There's
30.
kind of
Yeah,
like a
the
guide
yellow
chart.
ones were testicular cancer.
I thought the yellow.
or
Lance
support
Armstrong.
for support for the troops.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah, like the yellow ones, like years ago when there was Gulf War.
Yes,
You saw those yellow
it was support of the
ribbons
troops.
years ago. They were everywhere.
Ribbons, yeah.
They'd be tied
I
around
remember
trees.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
But for post-traumatic stress disorder, it's teal.
Okay.
Now with paracord, there's over 300 different colors and color combinations. It's like there's the bracelets I have. Like the one is like a golden color. It's called goldenrod. Another one is charcoal gray. There's like different types of individual colors, and there's colors that are made up of different colors. But I use the main colors that you look at the teal is the main color you look at. There's other colors that I would use to kind of make it more personalized. There's one, it's Vietnam vet. It's the colors of the medal that was given to Vietnam veterans. There's another one for ACU digital camo. It's the camouflage pattern that's the new advanced combat uniform for the U.S. Army. There's another one, it's the United States Marine Corps. It's like a orange, red, and yellow. What are some other ones? There's Afghan vet, Iraq vet. My friend Matt is an Iraq vet.
Yeah, I've got plenty of friends who are Iraq and Afghan vets.
Yeah, I think your friend Dan.
Yeah, Danny is a veteran of Iraq. I got a friend named Rob who I was working with at my former job. I actually just talked to him the other day. He is now serving his third tour. I can't remember which was which, but his first was Afghanistan, I think. His second was Iraq, and now he's in Jordan.
Okay.
That's a whole different subject for a different day. How all these guys now who are in,
but it's
in the
just
military
incredible that people
keep
it's like
having to get sent back.
My friend Matt, he did 2 tours in Iraq. But my friend, or one of my old coworkers, he was a wounded wounded vet from Afghanistan, and by the time I met him, he was 19.
Wow. So he had only been in the military for not much longer than a year.
He's from Texas. So in Texas, they had a program where you go to boot camp. I think it's
like a junior ROTC type thing.
Where
you go to boot camp early.
Yeah, you go to boot camp the summer after your junior year. So that
So
way,
when you're
as soon
like
as
17.
Yeah. So whenever you're done with high school, whatever, then you can go overseas or whatever.
Like you're already trained, you're already done, you can go.
Yeah. But
Amazing.
it's like I told her, it's like I wanted to join the military, but I had epilepsy I was diagnosed with epilepsy whenever I was 14. He said, that's great because this is an organization for people that want to support the troops, but we're not able to do it themselves. It's just a way of giving back to giving back to
the military, to the
military,
the veterans,
show
the
their
people
support.
who have given their lives to America, essentially.
Yeah.
And you got all these other people that are burning the flags, or you got Kaepernick, that little cocksucker who's kneeling in the
Oh, Kaepernick, yeah.
or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he started that
kneeling,
whole
and now
trend.
you have over in Coriopolis, not that far from us, you have an entire cheerleaders are kneeling during the national anthem whenever they have World War II veterans
At the game.
They
They invited the veterans to come.
that were invited. The superintendent or the principal or whoever his name was
Okayed it,
knew
knew about it,
they were
yeah.
going to do it, did nothing about it.
That was a shame.
Is
and
this
those
like
veterans left in tears
are these out of disrespect? They're kneeling.
because they were protesting over the deaths of those cop-related shootings.
Yeah, the whole thing was...
I understand what you're trying to say.
yeah, the whole thing with the kneeling before the national...
The guy
not
from
to-
the
not to
49ers
interrupt you.
started it. Now everybody
Yeah,
else is doing
back
it.
during the NFL preseason back in August this year.
Yes.
You know about that story?
I don't watch football, so
Okay, I'll give you a quick recap of it. Basically, Colin Kaepernick, a African-American quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers during the
Okay.
preseason kneeled during the national
Star-Spangled
anthem. During the
Or
Star
Banner.
Bantam. This is not Star Wars. Bantam fodder. Not to make joke of the anthem, but he kneeled during the anthem, and his reasoning for doing it was he was protesting the way that blacks are being treated by police in America.
All right.
Fair enough that he wants to protest it. Okay, that's
There's
fine.
There's
That was
nothing that
not
can be done about that. Is his freedom of expression.
absolutely. I mean, he was in the right to do it. In many people, in our opinion, he was wrong to actually
We
do it.
disagree
at that
with him
particular time.
doing it.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's
So
within your rights to do it.
that's the big debate. It sparks
But-
this big debate. After the next week, more NFL football players are doing it. Now, people are doing it at all these sporting events.
I understand.
Yes.
All the way down to the high school level.
And people are taking it personal because you have war veterans, everybody from World War II through Vietnam, through Persian Gulf, through Iraq, Afghanistan, all these wars are taking it as a personal disrespect that, hey, the reason that you are able
to do this is because
we
myself and your
sacrificed.
ancestors laid down their lives or gave
their
their
brothers
lives
and sisters,
so you
their
could
friends,
do this
their
in
dads
a public setting
died. Yes.
without
Yeah.
repercussions.
I understand. Yeah,
That's
I see
why
what you're
everybody's
trying to say.
upset, and I'm with Nick on this one.
I thought
I
it
felt
was-
it was a bad. It was a tasteless thing to do.
Yeah.
If he wants to protest it, there's nothing wrong with protest. Is one of the things that made America great.
Yeah.
Pick your spot, and he picked the wrong spot, and he started a trend. The only thing I can say about it, though, is that he has, with this kneeling and bringing up, the issue that he was kneeling for, it has gotten people talking. And that was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That being said, I feel that he was being completely disrespectful. And the first time he did it, I don't think Kaepernick, he obviously didn't think it through. He didn't think that he was disrespecting veterans. He thought that he was making a stand against violence.
the police.
Yeah, and I mean, I see where he's coming from, but like, dude, you gotta think these things through because people take that shit seriously.
Especially when you are either a celebrity or a sports figure, people pay attention to what you do.
Especially when you're a sports figure in the biggest sporting market on the planet.
Yes.
Well, when Nick was saying it, some people were protesting. I first against the national anthem thing. I was thinking, how do I say? Some people, because of the Pledge of Allegiance, they'll say because there's the word God in it.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
I thought
They put under God in the
in the Constitution.
Or no, well, I mean, they put it in the Pledge of Allegiance because they separate us between us and communism. Now this goes back to the Cold War.
Yeah, it goes back to
Okay.
like the 50s.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like I can understand, like back in the day or a while ago, there was a guy who protested about that because he didn't want his daughter to say under God because they were an atheist family. It's like, well, you kind of know. It's like I can understand where he's coming from because whenever you're in high school, it says in the student handbook or whatever, whenever you just say the Pledge of Allegiance, they ask you. You don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. They just ask you to stand.
They ask you to stand.
and be respectful.
Don't have outbursts during the pledge. Just stand there.
I had a guy that I went to high school or I graduated with. Looking back, I didn't think anything of it. Nowadays, I would have punched him in his little cocksucker. He stood up and turned his back to the flag. Now, I'm not a terribly patriotic person, but that kind of shit nowadays pisses me off.
It's not right.
I will kick you in the nuts if I ever see anybody doing that. Anybody stomping on the flag,
I hate it.
anybody
I hate
setting
that
it on fire.
Once
I
again,
don't care if it's a piece of cloth.
I respect people wanting to protest. I respect the reason for their protesting, but you need to do it tastefully. And disrespecting the flag is completely distasteful.
You are allowed to express your opinion until you start violating the rights of others.
Well, not only that, but breaking the law. If you stomp on the flag, that's against the law. The law says that the flag cannot touch the ground. If it does, it is to be burnt. And these people,
And there's a procedure for doing that.
Yes, there is.
yeah.
There's
It's
protocol.
like it's against the law. Like those people that steal Trump signs or whatever.
Yeah.
That's against the law.
I remember
Even
hearing
though-
it-
That's trespassing too. I mean, just to be honest with you.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing that. I'm sorry.
No, please.
I remember hearing about that. I mean, this goes back to Boy Scout days. How they really have to do with the flags. They have to strip them of the stripes, and it's actually stripped off. Cut,
Torn by the stripes.
Yeah,
yes.
torn by the stripes.
Yeah, I'm not
And
quite
then
sure
there's
what
a
the
certain
procedure
ceremony.
was, but I know
Well,
there
there's
is
a certain ceremony. If anyone's really, really interested, they could probably look it up online. But that I can understand. I get what you're saying, Jeff, about the law and all, and you want to try to do your best to follow the law because you don't. But here's the thing: when there's so many murders, so many break-ins, cops ain't gonna come to you knocking your door. Oh, you stepped on the flag.
No, I agree. I agree.
You know,
what I'm
just
saying though is when I turn on YouTube and I see videos of people stomping on the flag, that's video evidence that you broke the law.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the cops need to go to their house and break the door. What I mean to say is that people need
I'm
to
expressing
respect
my First
it.
Amendment right.
People need to respect that is the law.
Yeah.
It's in the maybe not the Constitution, but it's in the American law book. Have a little more respect for the flag.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say it's just hard. Some of the laws, that old laws, is just hard to enforce because they're so busy doing other things. I mean,
They're vague.
Did you know
That's the big thing
They're
right
vague.
there.
That's a
They're
problem.
vague.
They're
Like the gun thing.
That we are dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Men are created equal.
somebody told
They
me?
Now
meant to say
look at
white
it.
men, believe it or not. But anyway,
Did you know?
White Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
exactly. Go ahead, Chuck.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, we didn't mean to interrupt you.
So did you know somebody said something about? I learned this a while. There's an old law saying if your pig, and this is back in back
You're right.
your
right.
pig or your
Colonial
horse,
times.
your horse goes into someone's garden and they are viable for this or that or something, and it just does not make sense today. But
Right,
it's
because
still
who's growing
the
pigs
law.
in their
It's
backyard?
still-
Yeah.
We got to
It's
remember,
still
this is
law.
This is pretty much currency. This is how people
Yeah.
put bread on their table.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some.
That's how
they're
you
just
tell wealth
outdated.
is number of, say, the head of cattle that somebody has, or somewhere in another country, or the number of camels they have, something like that. That's a symbol of wealth.
Yeah.
That's how they made their money. That's
Right.
their value.
Yeah, I'm not saying that
their own
don't
wealth.
step on the flag is not viable today, and we should whatever have you get rid of that law. I think you're right. The respect for other things and other people who have fought for this country. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've said before, I'm a man of faith. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. If I was in a country, like if I was in Japan or whatever, if I went out and said I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, I'd be put in jail.
You're absolutely right.
And I'm blessed that
Maybe not
I'm
Japan, but some other countries
Yeah,
are
well,
like
Other countries
that,
where
yeah.
they don't allow.
I don't want to diss
different
Japan.
religions.
I think Japan's a wonderful
Well,
place.
you
but
get any
I get the gist, yeah.
Yeah, but
People who think differently.
But in this, I mean, this country, I'm blessed that I can go on a street corner if I wanted to and scream it out loud
Yes.
on the rooftops.
You'll have
like the
YouTube
Bible
videos
says.
where you'll have people that are Muslims or whatever talking against, they'll be talking about Jesus Christ or whatever. It's like, just be glad you're in a country where you're allowed to do this.
Exactly.
And there's that.
And he would be bashing Jesus.
yeah, and then
It's like,
there's that.
in some
thing, too.
countries, you will be beaten.
Yeah, I mean,
To
come
death.
on. Here, I'll give you a quick example. In France, that Charlie Hebdo magazine that posted a few years back,
Was that a
they posted a
cartoon?
cartoon of a
Yes.
drawing of Muhammad, the Muslim prophet. The Islam religion believes that there is not to be a physical representation of Muhammad. They're not allowed to draw a picture of him. You're not allowed to represent him in any sort of way. When that magazine ran that cartoon, a crazy radical Muslim went into the headquarters of that magazine and shot up
him.
a lot of people who
Man,
run
that's
that place.
horrible. See, I mean,
That's the kind of religious craziness that
Yeah.
you're talking about, Chuck. Where
Yeah.
you can go to other countries
But
and
it
say
is
the wrong
only a
thing.
small percentage of the Muslim population.
No, I agree. It's a
that
radical
is radical.
minority. Yes.
Yes,
But
just
it's-
like it was only a small percentage of the German people that put the Nazi party in power.
Exactly.
It was only a small percentage of the militarized Japan made them violent. It's like
The minority becomes the majority. That's
There's a
what it is.
minority that made it, put them in power. It's like, it doesn't matter. The minority made the difference. It was 19 radical Muslims that killed over 3,000 Americans.
Yeah, 9/11.
See, that's just one thing I never got. I mean, again, being a man of faith, seeing how other people are treated by in my eyes, Christianity is about loving God first and loving others as you would love yourself.
Yeah,
And
do
that's
unto
the-
others. The golden rule.
Love,
The whole-
love thy neighbor.
That's the whole core of it. Love God first. and other things you'll be blessed. If you're living in God's will, He'll bless you. If not, then it's another story. It's pretty simple, And I don't get why these people
Because
think they have to kill people to get to heaven, because that's not that's
no,
not love.
I 100% agree with you.
That's not love. That's
you don't have to be religious to know that that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, wait a minute, what is it? Where does
Why
it
does it
come
make
from?
sense to murder people for, I just don't get it. Like,
if anyone who is sane says that hating someone is a faith because they're a different have different beliefs or a different faith, it's ridiculous. It's a facade. It's a fake religion. That's in my eyes.
I'll play devil's advocate here, Chuck.
Okay, we can do this.
Just for fun. The Crusades.
Yeah, there's some radical people. They're idiots.
Which one? The first or the 14th?
There were 14 of them. The Christians, the Western Christians, marched east and slaughtered millions of Muslims
Again,
in the name of religion.
And that's how I look at it, is there were never really God's people in the first place.
Or maybe the Christian religion was just different then, and people thought
It had
differently.
modified.
Well, yeah, but
People are more aware now. In the last couple hundred years, people have become more aware, not just of religion, but of morality. And it's that's just the argument that a lot of people make there. Is what I'm saying.
but they don't really read in the Bible.
I agree. I agree.
You cannot say.
And also, I think it
read
was
the
more
dang
people were
thing.
paying more attention to the Pope at the time.
Yeah.
It was more of a religious dick wagging competition. It's like,
Well,
you
even
know what?
the Pope, even the Pope.
The Pope says we need to go over there and kill some people. All right, everyone pack up your shit. Let's go over there.
Some of the popes from those times in the 1300s were some of the most
Cutthroats.
cutthroat, immoral people around. I mean, there were popes at that time who had children. Think about that. The Pope is supposed to be celebrated. Here's the problem, Chuck. It's that people spend too much time looking into things like religion and not seeing the forest for the trees. You look at our religion as Christians.
Well,
you look at it and you see it as a religion of love, forgiving, understanding, helping your neighbor, loving your people, and loving God. That is what it's meant to be, and that's what it's supposed to be, and that's what I believe.
Well,
as well.
you say religion. I'll be saying faith, because there's totally two different things. That's
Okay.
totally different.
I
things.
agree with that.
There's a lot of people that think it's the same thing. It's like,
No.
not
No,
really.
no,
It's
religion.
not.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's not.
I
Religion
misspoke, I
is
guess.
a bunch of rules you do and do not do.
Right.
In my eyes, because
You face Mecca to pray.
Yeah.
You break bread on Sunday.
This is my idea of why I believe it's faith. For me, again, from the Christian point of view, to be saved, you have to be believer of Christ. You have to believe He died and was resurrected. If you believe in that and you accept Him in your life, that's how you go to heaven. That is not by our own selves. That is what He did for us, and that's the whole thing. So
You have
religion,
faith that happened, and you accept it. Yes. Okay.
So that's what the thing. I'm not trying to preach to anyone to tell them this is how it goes. I'm saying just this is what the Christian faith is supposed to be about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of people don't see it that way.
And people don't understand.
A lot of
that.
people who claim to be Christians don't see it that way.
Yeah, they don't know. There's a lot of people who go to church
And they're the worst people you could meet.
and they don't know what that means to have that relationship.
And they drown their kids because they think they're
Yeah.
infected by the devil.
I heard this analogy once. What is it?
Or that guy that went into that Amish school or whatever and slaughtered all those Amish kids in school.
I saw
church.
it on this movie. It's an analogy, Nick. This might make sense to you. You can go to a pet store, all you want.
Pet stool is a completely different subject.
Pet store, all you want, but it doesn't make you a cat. You get what I'm saying? It's
No.
the same thing as going to church. You can go to a church all you want.
It doesn't make you a faithful Christian.
It doesn't make you a believer in Christ. So it's the same thing. I don't know. That's what I say about that.
That's a great analogy. I never heard that.
Everyone looks at you. It's like, well, he comes to church every day, so that's good. It's like, yeah, but it's what you do whenever you're
Outside
not
of
in
church.
church. It's like my mom. It's like I think of her as it's like, yeah, you're religious when you want to be. You go to church once a month, maybe, or
I know
once every
people-
like 1 or 2 months.
I know people who go to
Or
church
weeks,
every
I mean.
week, and if I go to, let's say I'm just not, not to be specific. I know someone who goes to church all the time. Me and that person after church might go to, say, Walmart or something after church. On the way out, you see the homeless guy out in the parking lot, just asking for a little bit of change. You spit on that guy, you walk away. Tell him to get a job. That is not the right thing to do.
No.
So you're telling me that because you sing the hymns, you raise your hands in church,
You maybe give a little bit to the.
you give a little to the
collection
offering plate, you declare yourself a Christian, and then when somebody who is in deep need of your help, and Jesus directly said
Spit on that guy.
to help the poor, that was his thing, helping the poor, cast no stone. You know, that was his whole thing, and you can't give this guy the pocket change in your pocket.
Yeah, and you know
it's not right. That is slap in the face of what you claim to be.
Yeah, and then here's the thing, though. That's why people look at the church today and just say, "Well, everyone's a hypocrite." But thank God, there's grace.
There's
grace.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is. And you're a shining example of that, Chuck. You're one of the people that I know who not only declare to be religious, but live it the right way. Because I know people like you who are the same way, and I know people who are, like I just mentioned, not that kind of person.
I just try to do the best what God would want me to.
This was a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and we're going to have to wrap it up
and
here.
cut it off.
We have to. It's been well over an hour now. Guys, thank you so much. Chuck, again, this was a wonderful conversation.
Man,
I really liked it. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to get controversial sometimes, too.
I love you both, man. I miss you, hanging out with you. And
You gonna come back sometime soon? We can do this again.
Yeah.
Maybe get a different guest in here, except for Buzzkill Nick over there.
Yeah, no problem. Maybe I'll bring Tina down from.
Let her ruin the intro.
My band and have her, because she's a very, very particular person when it comes to this or that.
That would be cool. And also, dude, just so you know, my setup is mobile. This recorder that I use, my Zoom H5, I've taken it to people's houses and we've recorded. And
Joe's mom is mobile.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she is. No, let's go to her house.
There's always got to be at least one.
You gotta have a Joe's mom.
Well, we never had one in the last one, I don't think so.
Anyway,
maybe we'll have to edit that one
if that'd be cool. I've never met her. It'd be cool to talk to her.
She's a fantastic musician.
And your wife as well. She was, we were hoping that she was going to come down tonight because she likes politics. I would have loved to discuss with her. Maybe we can come over to your place.
She's not feeling so hot, and Rock is a person where she'll express it to you very front out.
That's short
you,
for Raquel, by the way.
But
just so you know.
she's also gets nervous around a microphone.
Well, I can understand
that's
that.
what's nice. Once you talk for about more than 10 minutes, it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I forgot there's a
microphone here. Yeah,
we're recording.
Yeah.
Maybe just put a blindfold on her.
Yeah.
That way she doesn't know. That's the kind of people that I like to have on the podcast. People who like to chat about, maybe not even controversial issues. Just people
or you
who like
just have the microphone
someone
off
who
to
has
the side where you see it in your peripheral vision, but you forget it's there.
You forget it's there. It's one of those things. I like to have people on who just have a passion about something. You have a passion for music. You have a passion for your faith. Those are things that you like to talk about, so you had no problem to sit here and chat with them. Yeah. Your wife, if she has a passion for politics, she'd be a good person to talk to, because once we break the ice, because I've only met her maybe twice, I've never really talked to your wife, but, once we break that barrier and just have a regular conversation, I think it's something maybe she would enjoy a lot more than she thinks she does.
She's an awesome girl. I met her in high school when...
Yeah, you've been together.
It's been all downhill since then.
Yeah, I mean,
really, all of our lives have been downhill.
Marriage is very challenging. I can tell you that.
Love
that is a discussion that you and I can have at a different time. Because we can do a whole hour on marriage.
No, we don't.
It's I'm telling you, marriage is a blessing, but it also takes a lot of work.
I tell you, brothers, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, love and
marriage.
Chink.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
God bless.
Night.